You gave just enough to be wanted. You dimmed just enough to be kept. And when they finally said, "I choose you," you couldn't tell if you felt seen or sold. Because you wanted to be chosen. Not casually, not by anyone. You wanted the right one. The lover, the leader, the teacher, the tribe. Someone to look at you and say, "You, I see you, you're the one." And you built your life around this person or this environment. Your personality, your work, your aesthetic, your voice. You didn't think of it as performance. You thought it was putting your best foot forward, being useful, being indispensable. You called it professionalism. You called it friendship, confidence, maturity, charisma. But underneath the polish, you were making a trade. You gave them the version of you thought they would love and buried the parts you thought they might leave. This is the prostitute archetype. Not in a sexual way, not literal, but energetic. The part of you willing to sell your authenticity, your presence in exchange for belonging, willing to trade truth for safety, praise, and opportunity. The prostitute isn't evil, she's ancient, and in many ways she kept you alive. She helped you survive rooms you weren't always welcome in. She helped you get through families that didn't see you. She helped you feel chosen in a world that rewarded compliance over truth. She made you lovable but never fully known, because to be truly seen, you'd have to stop selling access. You'd have to stop performing clarity when in fact you were confused and hiding. Stop offering silence when your boundaries were screaming. Stop making yourself tolerable just to stay kept. And for many years you couldn't afford that risk. So instead, you adapted. You observed what got rewarded. You learned the rules of the room. You became desirable by becoming less of who you actually are. And the tragedy is this: you were chosen again and again and again by lovers, by employers, by friends, by mentors, by tribes, by followers. But every time they said, "Yes, you wondered, do they even know me? Would they still choose me if I stopped hiding?" And deep down, you already knew the answer. So you stayed in performance because losing the love felt more terrifying than losing yourself. This is how the cage forms, not with locks, but with applause, with admiration, with the illusion of connection and success. And slowly your sense of worth becomes outsourced to those who validate the mask. But here's what no one told you. Being chosen is not the same as being loved. Being hired is not the same as being respected. Being adored is not the same as being met. And if the you they love is a version you curated to stay safe, then what they're loving is the cage, not the soul. And no matter how many followers, clients, partners, or friends you gather, you will still feel alone if you've had to shrink to earn their yes. You'll call it imposter syndrome, call it anxiety, call it a lack of confidence. But the truth is simpler. You know you're not being real. And over the span of time, nothing fake can satisfy, not for long. So the only way out is inward, toward the self you once exiled in the name of being picked. You could choose to start asking yourself questions like this. Where did I first learn that being myself wasn't enough? When did I first realize that truth was too expensive to keep? What did I trade away just to be invited into the room? And then you have to feel the grief because the cost is very real. You became excellent at being chosen by people who never really saw you because you never truly showed yourself. You curated connection at the expense of coherence, but now you know, and now you choose not them, but you. You choose to be unchosen rather than edited. You choose to be misunderstood rather than misrepresent yourself. You choose to be whole rather than wanted. That's the death of the prostitute, not with shame, but with reverence, because she kept you alive, but you're not surviving anymore. You're remembering, reclaiming, returning. And when you live unedited, the right ones won't need to be convinced, and you won't need to continue the performance. They'll see you and say, of course, you, exactly as you are. And this time you believe them because you didn't trade anything away to earn their love. You don't need to be chosen. Instead, you need to be real. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.